We have several patches of decorative grass growing here on our property, and it's one of those things that looks cool, but you don't want to just leave it go. You want to be sure to maintain this, and by maintaining it, that means at the end of the season, when it turns all brown like this, you should be cutting it back so that when the springtime rolls around and the growing season starts again, you get plenty of fresh stuff coming up there. And this old stuff, who knows what's going to be living in it by that time or at this point even. So it's always good to cut it back, but many people will argue what the best way is to go about that, or really what the easiest way is to go about that. So we're going to show you the way we take care of our decorative grass to maintain it and keep it healthy. Now, we've heard of all kinds of ways to go about cutting these decorative grasses back in the fall, and we've heard people suggest that you use a string trimmer with a saw blade on it, and they do make a grass blade for a lot of the string trimmers. What we found to be the easiest and most convenient way to do it is this Ego 56-volt battery-powered hedge trimmer. Of course, it doesn't necessarily have to be the Ego hedge trimmer, but we really like ours because it has the large openings and you can cut up to 1 inch with this thing. So when we're going through there, and if we run into something a little bit bigger than the grass, we know it's going to cut right through it. But one of the huge advantages to doing this is it's battery powered, so there's no hot exhaust. You're cutting through this dried out stuff, and it wouldn't take much, a little spark or just getting against the hot muffler for this stuff to go up in flames. So this is a nice, safe way to do it. Nice and quiet. No exhaust fumes. No chances of any oil or gas or anything leaking on here, making this stuff even more flammable. So it's just a really good, simple way all the way around to cut this stuff. You can cut the tall stuff out of the way, and then you can come back and trim it down to your liking. But as you'll see later on here, we actually had some small trees that were starting to grow in our grass that you couldn't really see. They were just down inside there, and using this hedge trimmer, we were able to just cut right through them as well. And we got this stuff down to the point where we wanted it to be down to, and then we came back through and just cleaned all the clippings and debris and everything else that gathered in there over the summer out from these bushes. So as we said, the Ego 56-volt hedge trimmer has a large cutting capacity. It can handle stuff up to one inch round. We easily cut stuff 3/4 of an inch pretty often with this thing with ease. And you can see it has a 2-foot reach there. So going through one of these big mounds of decorative grass, it's not a problem to cut that all down there in 1 or 2 passes and get everything cleaned out. Cutting these decorative grasses back in the fall is definitely a benefit to the plant, but it's also a benefit to you because it's one less thing you're going to have out there that could be a potential fire hazard because this stuff is just so dried out. And it's one less spot for critters to live over the winter time and build nests in there. So you get the peace of mind of all that, plus the plant is going to be healthier and come back fuller and greener. So what we'll do is after we take this tall stuff down and we've got these decorative grasses cut down to the height we want them at, then we'll pull a bunch of the loose stuff out of there by hand first and see if there's any saplings or trees or anything else kind of growing in there that shouldn't be in there. And then we'll just bring out the leaf blower and blow the rest of the dirt and debris out of there so that everything is cleaned out and these things can really thrive come springtime. So here's a perfect example of what we were talking about. Right in the middle here, there's a little tree actually starting to grow inside this patch of decorative grass. And you can see there's plenty of leaves laying down in here. So we're just going to get the leaf blower out. We'll clean all this out. We'll get that little tree out of there and any other stuff that's growing in here that shouldn't be. And these things will be ready to go for the springtime. So that was our recommended way of taking care of your decorative grasses and trimming them back. Using one of these Ego 56-volt cordless hedge trimmers. It'll work whether it's dried out like ours were, or it'll work if they're still green. Doesn't make a difference. This thing's got plenty of power. But the big thing, like we said, is you got all that dry stuff in there. It's not like a gas-powered unit where you would have the hot muffler or hot exhaust for that stuff to get against and possibly catch on fire. Then really safe way to do it. Nice and quiet. You won't be disturbing the neighbors or anything like that. So give it a try. Let us know what you think. If you have one of these hedge trimmers or you have decorative grasses you need to get trimmed back, leave us some comments on this video and tell us what you think of the hedge trimmer or how you trim your decorative grasses back. So, if you haven't subscribed, please do so because we always got new videos coming out, and we thank you for watching.